Hey guys, welcome to Madison Bell, and I know you just saw the video. So today we're going to go over animal behavior. We're going to talk about a lot of mistakes that pet owners make with their dogs, and I know a lot of them are unknowingly doing these mistakes, and they don't know it, right? So first thing we're going to talk about is resources. Resources is extremely important to dogs, just like they are to humans. Some of the main resources that dogs have to have and they depend on every day is water, air, space, and food. All right, those are your four main resources. When they're mismanaged and when they're abused, you're going to get a very bad dog that's going to start doing a lot of things. Dogs live on predictability. Dogs need to be able to predict every day, every second, every minute what's going to happen. When they cannot predict and of what's going to happen, they become unstable. And when they become unstable, you start seeing a lot of bad behaviors. Now, when a dog is put in a situation where they're elevated to a human status, this is where sometimes you're going to start seeing a lot of these issues where unpredictability is going to come into play and resources are going to become very scarce to the dog. So I'm going to use a prime example of a dog sleeping on the beds, getting on the couch, darting out the door, jumping on people. When all these things are not eventually corrected because the pet owner allowed them to go on, they're going to lead in and bleed into a lot of other areas of your life that are happening. I think a lot of people um, think that if they get basic obedience, it's going to fix all these issues. And that's not true. Come on, guys. We're asking a dog to come learn how to sit, stay down here, and hill, right? How does that have anything to do with you allowing your dog to have access to spaces they shouldn't be in, jumping on visitors, darting out the door, and just becoming aggressive to your family and kids? It actually has nothing to do with that, okay? A lot of the basic obedience things that you get with a trainer, they're just tricks. Just like you teach your dog to play dead. All right, they're going to listen to these obedience commands as long as it's predictable for them and habitable for their survival. Okay, if a dog cannot predict what's going to happen next, you're going to have a dog with anxiety and instability. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to go in details about what happens in their household, and they kind of sugarcoat it to it's the dog's issue. But 99% of the time, when a dog is having a lot of major issues, it's because there's unpredictability issues and the household is unstable. The dog may see the owner at one time, they may go to the bathroom at another time. They're definitely not crate trained to understand space. They start resource guarding, and this is where you start having a lot of issues, just to name a few. Okay, so how does that look? A dog should have boundaries. They should have rules. They should have regulations. They should have policies set up to where dogs can go in one area of the house. They should be supervised with small children. They should not be allowed on furniture. They should be able to wait and stay at the door, and you go out first. And everybody knows whoever goes out first is dominating the scene, right? They should walk on leash with you without pulling you. They should not be trying to bite and fight the neighbor or the dog across the street. Um, there's a lot of issues going on here, guys, especially when you do things like you free feed them, you give them the resources. So just to chime in on that a little bit, um, food to dog is money. That's all it is. That's why when we're doing things with a dog and we're training them, we're paying them with treats. Every time they do something that we want, we pay them with a treat, right? If you're giving them access to all the money at any given time, then why should they listen to you, right? So that's why we don't free feed dogs, and we are the source to their survival as far as giving them food, water, air, space. Now that kind of comes full circle and it makes sense, right? I have a space for you, which is your bed or your crate. I have an area for you in the house for you to be in, supervise. I have toys for you that I will give to you when I think that they're suitable, because everything that happens should be at appropriate time and place, right? I'm going to take you for a walk at the same exact time every day. I'm going to feed you at the same exact time every day. I'm not going to allow you to jump on people or anything else. I'm not going to allow you to be aggressive towards the company and my family members. All right. So once you establish these rules and boundaries in your house, you're going to start seeing a very stable dog. Right. Dogs live on several things. They're going to live on fear, um, confidence, or erratic behavior like aggression. They're gonna live in these kind of these this element of range is where your dog is going to be placed, right? So when we're not giving dogs these things, we're going to have a lot of issues. We cannot deny that. Okay. So when I see people allowing their dog to be on the couch, being aggressive to other dogs, and they're standing by watching, they have absolutely no idea what they're doing. They have no idea how far this is going to go. And what's going to happen in that situation is that one day a child or a friend or even you possibly are going to reach over to grab the bone away from the dog, and they're going to bite you, because you are starting to train them that while they're on the couch, they can be aggressive while they're eating a bone that they have access to 24/7. And if anyone tries to take it away, they're going to get bit. So many times I see people allow things like this to happen, and 90% of the time, the only time people really contact the dog trainer when something serious happens, right? And then when the trainer asks them, "Hey, what's going on? Why is these things happening?" They kind of like don't tell them the whole full story of why things have gotten to this point. That's like going to the doctor and telling the doctor that you have a major issue, but you don't tell them why you have that issue, especially if it's something that you are occurring, like using drugs or something. And the doctor's trying to constantly figure out why your liver is failing, until he does a test on you to find out it's alcohol related, and by that time it's too late. So, you can't sit there and give trainers half the story. You can't go to a trainer and have them train your dog in obedience, hoping that's going to fix the stuff that you're not doing at home. It's not going to fix it, guys. You're just wasting your money. If you're taking your dog to a dog trainer to fix their behavior, it's going to be a temporary fix, okay? The dog's going to look good for a couple days, and then they're going to go right back into what they were doing, because you are not establishing boundaries for the dog so that they know how to operate inside the home. So, again, a lot of these dangerous situations are being allowed by owners. A lot of owners have dogs that they shouldn't have. They're way too much of a dog for them, and they're trying to hang on to it until something bad happens, right? We need to kind of stay in our lane and get dogs that we can handle, dogs that will respect us, and dogs that are suitable for us and our family, not just for me or just for my wife, but for the whole entire family, okay? So that's where we need to start at. And as far as I see, like I said, you know, people are mixing up obedience with behavior. Those are two different worlds, right? A behavior is how the dog lives in the house with you. The dog doesn't live with the trainer; they live with you. Obedience is what you get your dog trained so they can be a better citizen, right? So if they have really bad behavior and you get some obedience with them, you're just gonna see a little change. It's not gonna be much, right? So you gotta physically change what you're doing inside your home so that the obedience will look great in and out the home. That is the God honest truth when we start talking about dog training. If you're not changing what you're doing with the dog inside the home, it doesn't matter who trains the dog or how much obedience they put on the dog. It really doesn't. And you're just going to keep wasting your money every time you do this. So when you're working with a dog trainer, you should start asking questions if you're doing the right things in the home and what things you should be changing so that the dog is living in its best life and that you're not having these major issues. Most of the time, when people don't get dog trainers and they don't need dog trainers is because the dog is behaving absolutely wonderful in the home, right? So when they go out in public, the dog behaves in public, so they don't reach out to a dog trainer. Most of the time, when dogs are behaving outside the home, they're behaving bad inside the home, right? And this comes down to how people raise their children. You either raise your children respect other people, be courteous, or you allow your children to run amok and act crazy in public and stuff. So this is a parenting skill with animals. So let's keep that in mind. Are you suitable to be raising an animal? Do you think you are? Are you stable enough? Do you have enough time for the animal? Can you keep boundaries? Animals are not humans, right? I know the fur baby thing went for a while and everybody was on top of that and he's my son and everything, and I get that, you know. They are like children to us, but they are like children. They are not children. So we have to teach them this. Remember, this is very important. Dogs live on predictability. So do humans. If you can predict that you go to work for 2 weeks and at the end of the week you're going to get paid, you're going to go to work the next week, right? You're not going to go there if you know that you're not going to get paid. You're going to be like, well, there's no point going here. I may or I may not get paid, so I don't want to go to work. Dogs are the same way. If they can predict, you come home, you take them for a walk, you play fetch with them, you feed them, you sit there and you pet them and you engage with them, they are going to be happy. They can predict your routine every day. It's Groundhog Day. That's what you should think about with dogs. They're like groundhogs. If Groundhog Day happens every day with the dog, they're going to be extremely excited. If you change routines, it's going to change their behavior, okay? If you allow them to run amok in the house, then they're going to do it. They're going to do it outside the home as well as inside the home. So please, let's do better with the dogs. Let's get them off the couch. Let's get them from running out the doors into the streets. Let's let's add more structure to their environment. Let's get routines for eating. Let's make them contain them to certain spaces of the home so they don't free fall all over the house, tearing up shoes and all kind of other things. Okay, that's the first step in controlling behavior. So, again, I'm Madison Bell. I hope this helped you out a lot when it comes to dealing with dogs and their personality and give you an insight of how to handle and manage your dog and be safe when you're managing your dog. Be safe while you're doing things. So you guys have a good one and be safe.